Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi. My name is Teresa and I am obsessed with all things makeup, beauty and skincare. And today I am looking at Huda's Pretty Grunge palette along with this quite strange PH Balm blush, whatever it is. So if you want to see a tutorial of this look and also get a general idea of what I think of these, so basically it's a rated or slated, it is a review, then that is what this video is, so do please keep on watching. I decided to try and do something a little bit different today, so, you know, bear with me. I have this Morphe M562, oh my lord, I've already destroyed this palette. I'm going into the shade Heroin. Now I say that I've destroyed the palette, but it's actually just, it's a very hiccupy formula, so keep that in mind. I'm literally just putting that around here, nothing major. Right, so this whole eye look, we're going out for Sahil's birthday. His birthday is on the 13th of November. I was going to say the 15th of November, and I'm like, no, Teresa, that is Jeffree Star's birthday. Fuck's sake. But today's the 12th of November as I'm filming, and you know, he was like, the poor man never sees me dressed up and looking nice. He normally sees me looking as if I've been like dragged backwards through a bush, and he really loves when I have like shiny metallic-y makeup. So that's where this one came from. And I also gave him the choice of, like, there were a couple of new palettes that I had, and I was like, which one would you like me to do? And he was like, I know Huda. So he kind of decided he'd go with that one. So that's where all of that came from. So this shadow is basically almost my skin tone. I'd say maybe a smidge warmer. I mean, it's classic Huda. She couldn't kind of help herself. There's purple in the palette. It's funny though, because like when you look at it online, it doesn't look that purpley, and then you see it and you're like, oh, never mind. She just can't help herself. And now another Morphe M562, and I'm going into the shade Rise Up. And as I said, it is a very hiccupy formula, so like tap off your excess, otherwise it's going to go all over the place. I love how she's called it Rise Up, and all I can think of is, you know that bit in Hamilton, rise up, banana, and rise up. But yeah, that's all I can think of. Other than that, obviously Huda, I don't want to say she's in controversy. I don't think she's in controversy, but she's like made a very firm stance on the Palestine-Israel-Gaza thing, and she's made it pretty clear she's standing with Palestine. So obviously I am Irish, in case you couldn't tell, and Palestine traditionally for years has been part of the Free Palestine movement. Like, it feels like the rest of the world has just kind of caught up, but it's always been a thing here that we've talked about Palestine. Like, even in my lectures to my students, where I'm talking about, like, say PTSD and anxiety, etc., I bring up, you know, survivors of conflict from Israel and Palestine. So it's kind of interesting that the rest of the world is catching on, but Huda has basically made a statement on that and is putting $1 million of humanitarian aid towards Gaza. So I think that's pretty darn cool. Whatever way you're kind of in on this, I think we can all agree that giving humanitarian aid is the way to go. And now I'm taking a Morphe M562 and I'm going into the shade Hope. And I'm trying to bring that in because, you see, the thing is, I have very hooded eyelids, like frighteningly hooded eyelids. So when I'm cutting shapes out, I just lose so much of it because of this hood. I definitely have one eye that's more hooded than the other, but I have major envy to the people with eyelid space. Elena, I'm looking at you. Not that she's looking at my videos, but you know, I have major envy of her eyelid space. I have F all, and they're definitely getting droopier as I get older. So yeah, there you go. That's, oh look, it is what it is. And I watch all these, well, like, I don't watch them, but you know, you see these P. Louise like makeup looks coming up every so often, and I'm like, oh, they're so cool. I'd love to do them, and I feel like I have the skill to do them. I just don't have the eyelids for it. Like, I think once you're over 30, with the exception of a few people who just have amazing genetics, your eyelids are so droopy that, you know, trying to do things like cut creases, etc., becomes very, very difficult. Like, even for me, my cut crease is practically up to my brow, like, you know. So I think it's a tricky one for a lot of us. Like, I'd love to do all those amazing intricate looks, but I just don't have the eyelids for it. And you know, blepharoplasties are expensive. In case you're wondering what a blepharoplasty is, it's a surgical procedure to remove excess eyelids. But obviously then I have astigmatism, which is that my eyes are rugby ball shaped, and that kind of skews my vision, and I just don't know what sort of an impact that would have. And it can obviously impact your vision if you have these sort of surgeries. So I'm just kind of bringing it around here and down, like literally just back and forth. There's something very rhythmic and satisfying about it, no? And now I'm just going to take this shade Maverick on my finger. It's quite glittery, and I'm just popping it up here, kind of like not quite at the brow bone, but around there, and just going to pat it on. And then I have this P. Louise brush, and all I'm doing is just dispersing it because I didn't want to have a big stripe. I just wanted to have a little bit of a sheen. And you can see how, like, it is very pigmented, so you do have to disperse it out, otherwise you've just this blinding light on you. So that does mean I'm taking my Morphe M562 again, and I'm going back into Hope, just to really make sure I haven't lost too much of that darkness, because I am bringing it towards there. Now, will I manage to get both eyelids to match? More than likely not. I mean, I just seem to be utterly incapable of that. Like, as long as they look like they're related, or that they've gone to the same school, or from the same general geographical area, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, you know? It's eye makeup at the end of the day. And I am going out for like a nice Italian meal. Love Italian food. And then I'm taking this, my Kitco brush. It's a small blender. It was recommended to me by my friend Daniela, so I ended up getting it. And I'm going into the shade Renegade. And I'm just popping that along here and up towards there. And I'll be slowly blending that out to kind of match the other eyelid. Quite a nice brush, I have to say. We'll see what I think in terms of like usability and over time. You know how like when you're washing brushes, they can change, the bristles can go a bit weird. But I got this like half price because a good old Black Friday. Well, it wasn't really Black Friday, but like they had like a specific sale on, and they arrived really quickly, so I was quite impressed, I have to say. A lot of pigment with this, so that is really good to see. Back using the Morphe M562 and into the shade Hope again, and I'm just kind of popping that over the black to disperse it a little bit more easily. I mean, I don't love Morphe as a brand, but I love this brush, the M562. I just love a teeny tiny blender brush. Just always give me such joy. So what I'm going to do now is just cut this bit out, and I'll come back to you in a minute. So as you can see, I have cut that shape out, and all I'm doing now is just taking a Zoeva 238 and I'm going back into the shade Heroin. And I'm just kind of bringing it from here out to here. I'm not kind of putting a huge amount of it down because I do have other plans. And actually, the space that is over on the other eye, I do plan on kind of putting gems here. So this is literally just sort of like a base so that I can shove some nice little gems on. But you can see it does kind of become my skin tone. Maybe a bit peachier, but yeah, basically that's it. And then I'm going to cut this little bit out again. Okay, so that bit is done. I'm taking this Huda Beauty 350 brush and I'm going into the shade Grunge. Now this is quite an unusual formula. It's a little bit like a gel eyeliner. So I've kind of used this just around the edges and it really makes that black eyeshadow pop. So as you can see, I'm just kind of popping it here. And I'm not putting too much on because honestly, lads, like once it gets on, you're like, oh my god, it's so pigmented. Like I'll show you. Look at this. Like once you start stamping it on, look at that. And that does give you a really good base then for your black eyeshadow. And there's something that's very like, you know, historically almost true about having this, because that is quite grunge, you know, to use those sort of eyeliner things and smudge them out is like so perfectly grungy. And I'm just bringing it down here. It really does create a fantastic base for it. So it looks a little bit odd right now, but this is a trust the process type thing. And obviously, if you have more skills than me, you will make this work like so well. You know me, I'm crazy skilled, but I'm not afraid to kind of try something a little bit new, a little bit different. Like I've never done an eye look like this before. So I really wanted to kind of stretch myself. You know, I don't want to be like the person who just does the same look over and over and over and over and over again. I want to be able to do something a bit different, you know? And now I'm taking a Morphe M562 and I'm going into the shade Renegade because I want to show you how these two kind of interact. And I'm just kind of going to gently brush it along here. And you can see it kind of amps it up a little bit. Again, I'm being very gentle. And out here, not so much. I'll just do whatever there because it doesn't really matter as much because I don't have to have the same kind of precision. But you can see how once I add that, it kind of gives it a totally different dimension. So I think that was actually quite clever of her to do. I haven't seen kind of many brands do things like this and kind of have different formulas. So I think she was very smart to do that. Definitely super interesting. But of course, is it really Huda if she hasn't included some amount of like a purple? I'm taking this NYX silicone applicator and I'm going into the shade Rebelle, or Ebelle, because I guess she's feminized it. Like, you know, in French, when you add an E at the end, it becomes like feminine. Very strange. And I'm just kind of popping that along here, and I will add on with a finger in a little bit, but I just kind of wanted to start off here. I mean, it's such a beautiful shade. You have to admit, like, it is gorgeous. I'm just bringing that up there, and I've been very naughty. Didn't put on any sort of a glitter glue or a primer or anything like that. So am I necessarily being the nicest to it? No, not really. I'm really trying to put it through its paces and see what it's like. I'm just going to take a Zoeva 238, go back into the shade Rebelle. I kind of feel like this is the sort of a shade you're going to hit pan on because of the formula of it. So if you do love that, keep that in mind. Just popping that there. Don't worry, I'm going to clean all of this up. And now I'm going to be gross and take it on my finger and just add it in there. Because as great as silicone applicators are, and they are fantastic, you just can't beat your finger. I like to use the silicone applicator to start with, just to kind of give me some amount of precision. And then after that, I'm like, well, all's fair in love and war. And I just got this little silicone applicator from Art2 Cosmetics the other day. It's fantastic. I am affiliated with the brand, so keep that in mind. You can use the code Teresa10 for 10% off. That's it, done, not talking about it anymore. But I'm using this to go into the shade Haphazard. And this is much more of like a traditional metallic-y satin almost. So I'm just shoving that along here on the way out there. Is it very precise? No, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be. Like I said, you guys will make a much better job of this than I did, but it's okay. It's makeup, it washes off, it doesn't have to be sheer perfection. I'm taking a blank canvas E10 and I'm just gonna go between these shades here just to make the transition between them a little bit more gentle. I have to say they mesh together quite nicely, no massive issue there. As you can see guys, there is a shit ton of fallout, so definitely do your eyes before you do your base, lest you be upset about it. I'm now taking this, I think it's the Zoeva 225, yes it is love, it is life, I love this one. And I'm going into the shade Renegade, so that is the black matte, and just kind of cleaning up there and bringing it in. But my gorgeous friends, that is essentially it. I'm going to add, obviously, some lashes. I'm going to add some jewels up there. And the only other thing I'm going to try in the interim is this. And I'll do that on camera in a little bit, like once we're towards the end. But it is sort of like a balm. So I think I'll probably do that towards the very end and pop it on top. Sure, look, we'll see. We'll see what the story is. I kind of thought it was a highlighter, but it seems it's more of like a PH fucking blush, which is the weirdest thing to me. But anyways, my friends, that is essentially it, and I will see you once I've done the rest of the base. I have finished off the rest of my makeup, and the only thing I have left to use is this. Now, reading the back of it, it says, use fingertips to activate pH. Apply on top of skincare or makeup to add a dewy custom colour to cheeks and lips. Now, I'm not adding anything to my lips because I quite like the colour that I've come up with here. Now, I am going to really get in here. It's definitely like a balmy type of a texture. There's a little bit of grit. Now, I'm not like, nothing is coming up on the face. Oh, it looks a little bit pink now because obviously my hands are pink. I've obviously put on blush, etc. already. I've also put on highlight. So we'll see if this adds anything at all to this. We'll see. We'll see. It could absolutely destroy what is a very nice makeup look. But I was kind of thinking to myself, if it's like the Ciate London Dew Sticks, I may end up liking it. Oh shit, that has added a lot of pink. Yeah, if you like pink, I guess that's going to be the thing for you. A whole ton of pink. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna go and make myself presentable because I have to get ready to go out. So I will come back, show you the finished look. So everything is now done. I look presentable. We're ready to go for dinner. But I will zoom you in now on the eyes so you can see what they look like. And I gotta say, I'm loving the gems. I feel like I haven't done those in ages. So this is very satisfying. So this is what it looks like. Do they match? No. This eye is off over here. This eye is off over here. But you know what? It's grand. I mean, considering I can't see what it is that I'm doing when I'm doing makeup. And then this is what it looks like without the glasses. I think it looks quite pretty in all. I'm going to show you though what it looks like when there's no like huge massive lights in my face. Okay, so I have turned off the lights so you can see the sparkles of this a little bit better. And I mean, obviously the gems are really taken over, but you can see some of the glitter here. I'm obviously going to take my glasses off now. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of a better idea as to what these shimmers actually look like. I think it looks quite nice. So let's start off with this. It's the Pretty Grunge Punk Pink Blush Gloss. Gloss Visage Blush. I don't like this. I mean, it's fine, but it makes me look super, super pink, which I knew it was going to do after I bought it. I'm stupid. I thought it was a highlighter. I just didn't read the damn thing, you know. I hate this whole pH activation thing. I think this is way too expensive for what this is. I will give it a 2 out of 10. Do not buy this. It is silly and just very gimmicky. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can return this because it's not fantastic. But let's talk about the palette because let's be real, that's the main hitter. Let's open it and have a little gawk. It's very kick-uppy, so just keep that in mind. I did try quite a bit of this. I wouldn't necessarily call this a grunge palette. I don't think this is. I feel like this is a slightly more older sister of like the rose quartz. Like we have a 9 pan here that is essentially purples, and then we have a 9 pan here that is essentially neutrals. I do like that she's got like 2 different formulas black, like one's a gel and one is a powder. I do feel that the shimmer formulas just are okay. They're fine, they're grand, nothing to write home about. I don't think that this is anything wildly spectacular, which I think is such a pity. I don't know why she's called it Pretty Grunge because there's nothing about this that is wildly grungy, and I thought that maybe it would look a little bit different in person because sometimes her things do. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's very middle of the road. It does perform very well. It does blend very well, but I do feel like when you're looking at these more special shades, well, what are meant to be special, they're just very cookie cutter. Like, it's stuff that we've all seen before, so I don't think that it actually warrants the price tag that it is. If I was giving this a rating out of 10, oh, you're gonna hate me. I think I'd give this a 5 out of 10. I've definitely had a lot better, and I think when I ask myself the very important question of, would I buy this again? I wouldn't. I think it's a bit overblown. I think the quality is good, and if you've never had Huda before and this colour story appeals to you, great, but don't be buying it for those shimmers. Like, there's way better out there. Like, I could name to you several indie brands that are much better, like even like Saints Angel Sinners, the Steph's Pier palette, the shimmers and like multi-chromes and that are a million times better, and it's like the same price. I think this is grand as like a staple everyday palette, but I wouldn't like run out and get it. But that's because I've an insane collection, you know? But I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you love this palette? Did you get it? Are you enjoying it? Do you think it's worth the price tag? Now, I did pay full price for this, so that's probably why I'm a little bit like, eh. But you know, it is what it is. I am interested, as always, to hear what you guys think. But do please like, comment and subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and do please share, because sharing is caring, except of course for STDs, in which case, just wrap it up, don't be gross. But that's it, that's the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.